Shalom family, we're going to talk about sundown towns, and yes, they still do exist. And why are they even relevant today? Because they're being judged by Yahuah. As we saw in North Carolina, it wiped out a lot of those sundown towns. They had no electricity, they don't have no homes, they don't have nothing. They still looking for bodies. And not to mention the camping, where all the RVs got taken away, the good Christian camps and all these Christian places. You know, it's all these good Christians now are being destroyed. And Yahuah is judging those Christians because they have been torturing his people for years. And we're going to talk about it. Now, I live in California, and I know for a fact a sundown town here is called Hemet. Now, Hemet, California was a sundown town, and the reason why I know this because I used to have a neighbor that told me when I lived there for 4 years, back in the 60s and the 50s, you couldn't even be there after 6 o'clock, and there was a big old sign out there saying that, you know, if you were out there, you weren't going to ever leave. So there are a lot of sundown towns, believe it or not, in California, and they're still happening in different places. But we're going to discuss that. What are sundown towns? The definition is sundown towns were communities in the United States, especially from the late 1800s to the 1960s. But some exist informally today that excluded Black people and other minorities. Signs were often posted at the town limits. Like I just told you, it said Nigger, don't let the sun go down on you here. And it's true. And Black people could sometimes enter during the day for work, but were not allowed to live there or be present after dark. So if you knew it was getting late and you were trying to get home from work and you had to walk or catch the bus, you needed to be able to get out of there, because if you didn't, they were waiting for you. And let me tell you, it was the police. They was all in on it. And the good old boys, they're waiting on you, okay? The enforcement was through threats, police harassment, violence, or even lynching. So a sundown town was literally a place where Black life was not welcome after sunset. Why so much hatred and prejudice? Fear of equality. Many white residents feared that if Black people lived nearby, it would challenge their social and economic dominance. Myth of purity. They wanted to keep towns white only under the false ideal of racial purity. Now, weren't they all immigrants when they came through Ellis Island? The Irish and the Polish and the Swedish and the Russians and the Germans. They ain't pure. I digress. Hatred was taught. Racism wasn't just personal. It was passed down, reinforced by laws, churches, and culture. They had a demonic stronghold, form of spiritual view. This hatred isn't just ignorance. It's a spirit of division and violence. The opposite of Yahuah's spirit. Scripture says anyone who claims to love Yahuah yet hates a brother or sister is what? A liar. And that's in 1 John 4:20. The hypocrisy of the good Christian. Oh, I just love Jesus. I just love God. He's everything to me. Many in sundown towns sat in church on Sunday, calling themselves good Christians, lifting their hands, singing Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound, but lived lives full of racism and hate for the rest of the week. That's religious hypocrisy. These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me, in Isaiah 29:13. They claim to follow Jesus, but their actions reveal they serve the spirit of this world, not the spirit of Yahuah. To hate and oppress people, especially Yahuah's covenant people, and then claim to love Yahuah is anti-Messiah behavior. So why against Black people specifically? Black people, descendants of enslaved Africans, many of whom connected with the biblical Yasharel identity, carry a history of resilience, covenant faith, and spiritual death. Racist systems feared that presence and power. Instead of embracing fellowship, They chose exclusion. Biblically, we see this too. The nation often hated Yahuah's chosen people, not because of their faults, but because of the covenant covering on them in Deuteronomy 7:7-8, and Psalms 83:2-4. In America, anti-black racism was woven into the foundation to maintain power, wealth, and control. So the spiritual meaning, Sundown Towns, show how a nation can call itself Christians, yet operate in direct rebellion against Yahuah. The people who enforce these rules represent Babylon and not Zion. They upheld white supremacy, not the kingdom of Yahuah. Hatred against Yahuah's people reveals the truth Yahushua spoke. If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. John 15:18. So sundown towns were places that violently excluded Black people, rooted in fear, racism, and the desire for control. The people who claimed to love Yahuah while hating their Black neighbors were hypocrites. Their actions exposed that they were not serving Yahuah, but a spirit of hate and supremacy. And they're being judged right now. I mean, if you look at those sundown towns, all of them have like trailer parks. They live like in shacks. They got cars all over the place. They're in extreme poverty. And if you look up in the Appalachians Mountains up there in West Virginia and all those Kentucky and all those places, they're all on that fentanyl and opiate and on those drug addictions and alcoholism. I mean, they're literally being destroyed by Yahuah. And you know why? It's because they hate his children. Coming up, part 2 of these sundown towns. Get ready for more.